not be tolerated. The participants must keep in mind the sentiments of the people on the panel while advancing their opinions.
So with that being said, let's quickly introduce ourselves so that we get to know each other a little bit better and this becomes a comfortable space for all of us. So I want you to tell us your name, your go-to genre, and that one character that you would like to meet in real life, if you could. So let's start with Yana. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, hi, you are. So my name is Yana, and my go-to genre is basically drama, dark academia, literature type. And the one character I'd like to meet is Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl, if we're talking about shows. And
Anything is
from
okay.
books, I guess, yeah, from books, I guess, Tessa from After.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
that
she's a very relatable character. I
I
agree.
agree. So who all have read um, After or seen the movie After? Do you like it? Do you have any views about it or something you would like to share? Come on, say something. Okay, so you can go next actually. Uh, I'm Diana. I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronounce your name.
It's
Dianj.
Dianj,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So no, I've not read the book, unfortunately, and it's really embarrassing to say that you've not read a book of something and watched the movie of it. But yeah, so my go-to genre, I think, is dark academia. The one character that I would like to meet is Dorian Gray, probably, because of the fantastic and horrible things that he's done. So I would like to, understand why his mind works that way. I think
Wow.
that's about it.
Yeah, that totally
That's
makes
a great choice. Yeah, true. Okay, so who want to go next? Amal or Kripa? Anyone?
I would like to go next. And I'm more into non-fiction books, and I haven't read a lot of fiction works, but my favorite character would be the main lead from The Kite Runner by Khaled
Oh,
Hosseini.
Yes.
Yes,
Kite
because
Runner
It's a
is
beautiful
actually a
book.
very good book.
yes,
Yeah. Have any of
So,
y'all read Kite Runner?
I'm currently reading it.
Ooh, so no spoilers for you. Till now, how do you like the book?
I love it. Hassan, I guess he has just left. I'm at that part.
Oh, that's very interesting. So just getting into it. Nice. Anyone else like to go ahead? The books they've read, their go-to genre. Janish, you want to go ahead?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So, video on. Hi. So, my favorite book is As a Man Thinketh and Man Search for Meaning. There are many books like मतलब trending में मुझे बहुत favorite है. मैंने पढ़ी भी है. And I have been into psychology, तो मुझे psychology ज़्यादा deeply
Wow.
पसंद है. Also, बस और फिर
Any other book you've read?
I have read Chanakya Niti. I have read The Theory of
Wow.
Everything. I have read Man's Search for Meaning, जो मैंने अभी बोला, As a Man Thinketh. And
Yeah.
there are many books. मतलब ये भी है मतलब ongoing पढ़ने वाला मतलब.
Okay,
So more
nice.
into psychology and मतलब motivation part.
That's very good. Okay.
so you are
So
more into like self-help books
Yes,
and
yes, exactly. So actually, I'm a professional motivational speaker. So I
wow.
need to read this book. So to train people to, heal people.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Wow, that's very interesting.
yes.
Yeah. What uh what was the first book you all read? I'm really interested to know that because I'm also into like mystery books and all, and I started off with the
Yes.
Titans, Famous Five and all. So what were your first books?
Life is what you make it. That was my first book which I've read.
Wow.
The Jeet Aapki by Shiv Khera. That
Yeah,
also
it's a
I have
very
read.
famous motivational.
That was your first book?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. That was my
I
first book.
wouldn't have guessed actually. Anyway, so you told us that you are a life inspiration speaker.
Yeah.
So one thing that I faced this lockdown. Okay, by the way, I'm Purva and I'm into reading. I read a lot. But this lockdown, I
Yeah.
haven't really been able to read a lot. You can call it not a writer's block. I'm sorry, a reader's block. So
Okay.
tell me, how do I get over that? And by
Okay.
the way,
So
is it just me or is everybody going through a reader's block?
no, matlab,
Everyone is.
Dianj just went no.
almost
Okay,
everyone.
Everyone
Dianj, I
is.
want to know what kind of books have you read?
I've
So
read quite a few books. Like I think in 2020 last year, I read I think a total of 20 books in the entire year. So about like around two
Wow.
books a month-ish. And yeah, so I think it's been pretty consistent. Books are the like reading is my most favorite thing to do. So I don't think I skip on that.
That's really amazing. We'll get more into the type of books that you've read after Janish has inspired me a little bit to read some more.
yeah, मतलब आपको क्या जानना है बताओ मुझे.
अच्छा, तो मैं आपको मेरी प्रॉब्लम बताती हूँ. मेरी
Yes.
प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मैं बुक खरीदती हूँ, मैं बुक्स खरीदने जाती हूँ. आई एम अ वेरी हैवी रीडर, आई रीड अ लॉट ऑफ बुक्स, बट मेरा बहुत इनकंसिस्टेंसी हो जाता है. मैं कभी पढ़ती हूँ, कभी नहीं पढ़ती हूँ.
Yeah.
हाँ, तो वैसा तो मतलब इट्स ऑल अबाउट माइंडसेट. इफ योर माइंडसेट इज क्लियर दैट आई वांट टू रीड दिस बुक. और कैसा होता है ना कि आप अगर इंटरेस्टिंग कोई भी बुक होती है, जैसे फॉर एन एग्जांपल कि फर्स्ट चैप्टर ही आपको इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है, राइट? कोई भी बुक का फर्स्ट चैप्टर अगर आपको इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है तो आपको आप सामने से खुद से ही अपनी मर्जी से ही वो पढ़ोगे. और मुझे लगता है कि आप अगर टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में भी पढ़ रहे हो ना तो भी कोई गलत बात नहीं है, क्योंकि मेरे हिसाब से मुझे लगता है कि आप ब्रेक लेके पढ़ो, फिर बाद में पढ़ो, कभी नहीं पढ़ो, बट जब भी आप पढ़ते हो पूरे 100% दो. मतलब जब भी आप पढ़ते हो क्या आप उसको लाइक गो थ्रू करते हो क्या अंदर, यू नो, you take implement. like I read first chapter and then I मतलब गैप लेता हूँ 15 दिनों का, फिर उसके बाद मुझे टाइम मिलता है तो मैं पढ़ता हूँ. तो इट्स ओके मतलब, बट आप जितना पढ़ते हो उतना आप इम्प्लीमेंट करते हो क्या लाइफ में, वो मैटर ज्यादा करता है मेरे हिसाब से.
So
So पूरी book,
Janish here basically, yes Amar.
I would say read what you love until you love
yes,
to read.
exactly. So अगर आपको
Yeah.
कोई भी बुक से प्यार है तो ऑब्वियसली बात है आप टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में मतलब जैसे आपको फील होगा, जैसे आप करोगे, मतलब वो होगा ऑटोमेटिक, आपको कंटाला नहीं आएगा मतलब.
Amal said a really, really good thing. Read what you love till you love what you
Yes.
read. And
Yeah.
I'm
Because
going to
yes,
and I'm
I
going
know
to
I'm going to
implement that.
remember that and read all
Right?
books from now on.
Yes.
Because that
when
is
there I
that.
started reading the
Yeah.
classics,
Yeah.
What
पूरा
kind
book
of
so
classics have you read, Amal?
and I have only read almost 3 classics because I kind of hate them. One is The Mockingbird, and the
Wow.
second right now it's 1984 by George Orwell. It's going on.
Amazing
Okay.
books these are.
Mockingbird is actually a very good book.
Yeah.
It's a really good book. I
Very
like it.
interesting.
Okay, so we know Janish's inspiration of reading books because he wants to implement everything that he's learned in life. Yana,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
would you say? Why do you read books? Is it some kind of escape, like Diansh said?
It is escapism, but I guess I inculcate all the characters because I think that I am all the characters I've read about. So I guess meeting new people is not as great as meeting new characters. So
That's so true. Yeah.
I
yeah.
relate
Completely
to
agree.
that. I really do. Goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
so Yana, what kind of books have you read in the lockdown?
Not much because I was thank you to Jehand BMM with all the projects and all. So I haven't read many books. I started Great Gatsby, but I left it in the middle, and then I
Oh,
started Kite Runner. So I'm currently reading Kite Runner.
Okay, so I'm
yeah.
guilty of watching Great Gatsby but not reading it. I usually go the other way around because I read it first and then I watch the movie
Yeah,
because I like
same.
judging the movies. So, have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because that was one motivation for me because I sometimes feel classics kind of get a little monotonous. The
When you're
characters are
reading,
really
yeah.
nice. The characters are really nice. Dianj, have you read any classics? As of now, which one is your favorite?
So one of my favorite classics, as I said before, I think like okay, when you say classics, how old are you talking? Because I recently read A Picture of Dorian Gray, but before that I read like Odyssey. So like,
Wow.
how
We can
old
talk
are you
about
speaking?
Odyssey. We can talk about, okay, give me your take on Odyssey because that really fascinates me.
Okay, so have you read Song of Achilles by any chance by Madeline Miller?
No, I have not.
So that's a very good, modern interpretation of Odyssey. So like if somebody wants to start reading Odyssey, I think they can start with Song of Achilles. But other than that, well, Odyssey, I think there was a lot of things to say about it. First of all, the way it's written, it's not an easy thing to understand. It's a heavy book. It looks like a small book. There's like 32 poems in it, definitely. No, 24 poems, yeah. So it's a heavy book, definitely. But I think as you go on, as you understand the story, you understand Greek history a lot more, and you understand it from the perspective of Odysseus himself. So I think that's pretty fascinating.
Wow.
So to give
Greek
a lighter
history.
twist
That's
to what Deanj said, when you talk about Greek history, any of you here have read Percy Jackson?
yeah, that's the first
Because
thing that
that is
comes to
how I
mind.
because that is the first thing that comes to my mind when you talk about Greek history or Greek mythology. Any of you, proper Percy Jackson fans? Okay, Deanj here is again a Percy Jackson fan. Do you prefer Harry Potter or Percy Jackson? That's always one question that I love to ask people who've
See,
read
Percy
books.
Jackson, obviously, I've read the entire series 13 times. So
What?
13 times.
undebatable, yeah.
I used to boast about having read it 6 times, but that's a new record. How badly do you hate the movies?
Let's not talk about
Let's.
it. We can't talk about the movies. They're absolute blunders.
Oh God, yeah, that's true. Actually, they deviated from the storyline altogether. It's
Wow.
infuriating how movies do that to books. Yana,
Exactly.
is
Almost
there some
all
book?
Yeah.
movies
Is there some
just
That's
books that
why
you
I have a
like?
new rule. I have a new rule. From now on, if I really like a book, I don't see its movie. So, for example, Call Me by Your Name. I really like the book. I refuse to see its movie because I like the book. I don't want to spoil it for myself.
You know, one movie that lived up to the expectations of the book was The
The
Godfather.
yeah.
Trust me, they got it right. The characters, the storyline, it was a proper
yeah.
experience. It really was. Anyway, Yana, you tell me, which movie based on a book was your biggest disappointment?
After, most definitely after.
Yeah,
It
I
was a
agree.
blunder. Oh my god. I
I
my
mean,
best friends are
reading.
tired of me cribbing about how many mistakes they have made. And oh my god, I just can't
I
stop
know.
talking about how shitty that movie was. I'm sorry. But yeah.
I
That's fine.
reading
Um,
from Wattpad and then going to see that book, that movie, it was pathetic.
Exactly.
Like, doesn't match at all. So I completely get that.
okay, so I'm guilty of not watching the after movies
You
because
Good
I
should
you
felt
have.
didn't.
the yeah, no, I shouldn't, right? But I just have one question for you. You said that they didn't stick to the storyline, but it's a young adult fiction, right? So is aren't the movies supposed to improvise a little bit on the books?
Improvise sure, but not demean it more. I mean not just destroy it. The main crux of the after one was completely changed. I don't want to give any spoilers, but the end was changed, which is another fact. Another thing, a straight goal.
Yeah.
The main reason why there was one really big fight and one main plot. She's a lesbian now. I mean, what?
Which
Everything
character
has
Yeah,
was
changed.
that? Wait,
Steph.
which Steph is show? Oh my god, are you
Yeah.
serious? Oh
it's
no,
pathetic.
they can't do that. No, okay, fine. I take my words back because I used to always be under this impression that young adult novels can be improvised when they are being made into movies. For example, Twilight. Um,
Yeah.
Dianj, can't you stick around? Did he leave?
Yeah, I guess.
Percy Jackson fan, and he left. God. Anyway, so Yana, um, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was talking about.
The young
Yeah,
adult
Twilight.
fiction.
yes.
Twilight.
So I always thought that young adult books can be improvised into movies, like they did with Twilight. Have
I
you read
haven't
Twilight?
read or seen Twilight. I have read I've seen this parody of Twilight, which was a blunder.
Yeah,
But coming back to young adult fiction, I guess movies don't do justice to what was written. I mean, Anna Todd is an amazing writer. I love her work, her content. But the movies, I'm sure she was directing. She was there when the movies were being made. But no, I don't like it. Probably because my opinion is biased because I love the book so much. And the person just watching the film for the first time and who has not read the book might like it. But yeah.
they did. One of my friends loved the movie, and I'm like, you haven't read the book, so you don't know how bad this is. So it
Okay,
was
so there's just this one fun thing that I would like to do before we go ahead. So Amal, Yana, and Jenish, the three of you have very different genre preferences. When Jenish likes to read non-fiction, Yana likes young adult books. So I want each of you to give each other recommendations and sell that book to each other. Why should Jenish read after Yana? Tell us that. Suggest a book because now you know that Jenish likes taking something back from the books that he's read. So tell us, why should he do that? Or any book, if not after. Any book that you think he would like. You're on mute, Yana.
Sorry. So I guess he would like Not Without My Daughter. It is one of my favorite books ever, apart from the young adult fiction. I guess After is the only book I like from the young adult fiction, not any other. And Not Without My Daughter is a biography, and I guess you would like it because it is inspirational. It talks about how the protagonist, Betty, got out of a situation. So I don't know if I can give any spoilers, but the basic plot is that Betty was taken by her Islamic husband to Iran, Muslim husband to Iran, and she was promised that they would get out of Iran after 2 weeks, but she was stuck there for 2 years with her daughter. So yeah,
very interesting. I want to read it.
it's amazing. You
Yeah,
should.
so chat box पे नाम लिख दो ना please. मैं देख
Sure.
लूँगा.
Amal, what about you? What book would you suggest?
Is there any Haruki Murakami fans here?
You'll have to tell us what that is.
I want to start, but I don't know with what book. So
I
Kani,
am
you
Okay,
suggest
completely
me.
so
clueless. You're going to have to tell me what that is.
basically Haruki Murakami, he has cult following among people, and the thing is, he uses magical surrealism. Okay, there will be many unopened places. Everything won't be explained to you, and there will be a lot of things that don't make sense, but it will leave a picture in your head itself. Okay, so after you read it, there will be after 2 or 3 days also you will be still thinking about the scene. So if you are into stuff like fantasy or magical, and also another thing is he uses emotions very explicitly. Like I have never seen any person using emotions to describe in such a delicate manner. And the best book would be Norway. It's a basic love story, but set in 1985, and also it has Japanese literature. So if you are a fan of anime or Japanese literature, you will see so many new things. And also another book I would like to say is non-fiction. It's Sapiens, the brief history of mankind. I love
I
that book
have
because
that book. I have
yes,
that book. It's amazing. Even I like it.
I would say it
I
does
just
perfectly make
pulled
you
out
smarter.
my copy. I just pulled out my copy. It's right
I
there
also read the
behind me.
second one, Homodius also. That's also amazing.
I've been meaning to read that, but I always keep like actually get the second book and read. Anyway, Amal, you spoke about Japanese literature. Can you tell me how you stumbled across Japanese literature? Because that is something that I wouldn't, that is it's very fascinating to me because I wouldn't just stumble across Japanese.
Your voice is breaking. Sorry.
Yeah, she's just saying that she wouldn't randomly stumble upon Japanese literature. So how did that with you?
Actually, the thing about Japanese literature is it's a world apart. Okay, Japan and India, there are no cultural contacts in between. So culture has developed completely from isolated. There is no influence of our culture on them. And another thing is, I found Kafka on the Shore, the name of the book, and decided to dig in more about this book. And sometimes you have to take a leap of faith, right? So I went in and I loved the book. That's the rest of the story.
Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, I was very skeptical about reading Dan Brown. I don't know why, but because it was too big, and I was like, will I be able to finish this? Well, once I started reading, now I can't stop. So that's one book that I really love. Have you all read Dan Brown?
Dan Brown.
Yeah, any Dan Brown book.
I have watched the movies and
Or,
I'm thinking about reading the
do you
books.
like the movies?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the first one.
No, that is a rookie mistake. Listen,
You need to watch.
Dan Brown movies. You have to
No,
read
only
them.
the
Yeah.
first one. Only the first one. Okay, the last two are terrible.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about Dan Brown. You gave me a suggestion, I'm going to return the favor. Dan Brown, I won't just recommend one book, I'd recommend all of his books. They're not a series as such. But the thing is, the movies don't do any justice to what his writing is. He basically, am I lagging again? My internet is giving me a hard time today. Am I
Your
lagging?
voice
No,
actually, there is a
Not
lag between the
anymore.
no,
points.
Just
it's
give me 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me
Okay,
see what's going on.
sure. So tell me, Janet, you also have to sell a book to these two. So which book would you recommend? Janish, are you there? Okay, it's cool. Y'all can tell me one book that y'all were skeptical before getting into. Yana, you want to go ahead?
There's this book called Where She Went. It is a sequel to If I Stay. And I've never done this, but I had seen If I Stay and not read the book, but I read Where She Went. So I was kind of hoping that they don't break the link and it is not as bad as I'm thinking, but it was really good.
So the movie, you really like the movie, if I say.
Yeah, I really like it. So I read its sequel. I don't think Where
Yeah.
She Went has a movie yet, but I read its sequel and it
Okay.
was beautiful.
Yeah, I've always wanted to read it. Like the cover looks so beautiful
Yeah.
for If I Stay.
I
It's
haven't read If I Stay, but I've
Yeah,
seen the
neither
movie.
have I. But the cover looks very interesting.
Yeah,
It's from the movie, I think.
yeah.
So I would love to read that. Also, this is a very nostalgic thing, but comics were a huge thing back then. Like in school, I used to love reading Archie comics, or like during a train journey, I would always have Tinkle in my hand. So, any comic book fans here?
Yeah, I read a
Tinkle.
lot of Archies and Tinkle as well. I used to read like the Hindi versions also. They used to come like Champak Mama and all. Yeah,
Yes,
You know,
those
there
are
used
my
to come a Jogo disc with that champak.
Also,
yeah, I think so. I faintly remember that, but yeah. um,
That used to be fun. It used to have
mhm.
really, really fun games in it. Anyway, so I don't see any comic fans over here except for Manav. Again, I'm going to go back to recommending Dan Brown to Amal. Yes. So what he does basically is that he combines history. Uh, you obviously, we were there in the discussion
okay,
yesterday.
I
We
have a
know you
question
love.
before you say that. I read the Da Vinci Code and also searched on the net, and there were many historical inaccuracies. So,
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to address the historical inaccuracies as well. Before that, obviously we spoke yesterday, and you're very much into sci-fi, if I remember correctly. This is basically historical fiction, not scientific fiction, but historical fiction. So he combines symbolism and all sorts of conspiracy theories about everything that's happened in the past. Now, for example, Illuminati, historical inaccuracies. So what it is basically Dan Brown researched a lot before writing his books. So it wouldn't actually be correct to say that there were historical inaccuracies, because that was his take on what happened. If you talk about Illuminati, we can't know for sure what happened because that goes into the conspiracy theories ka section. We don't know what happened for sure, but what he wrote in the Da Vinci Code was what he thought happened that way. इसीलिए सब लोग बोलते हैं, and actually his books are kind of controversial.
Actually, I have
Now,
a fight with a Christian friend of mine over Da Vinci Code.
yes, I've done that too. I'm guilty of
I
doing that
really
as
messed his
well.
feelings. That's why I asked you.
Yes, I'm guilty of doing that as well. Um, uh, two of my
Ah,
Catholic friends actually. We had like a very healthy discussion on this. But then again, it all boiled down to the same thing. Dan Brown is entitled to his own opinions. They are entitled to their own opinions, and we are entitled to our own opinions.
so, but
So
after reading that book, I immediately like went on Google and started looking at the Last Supper painting and checking if what it is, said in the book is actually true or not. So it's very interesting to read that book. All of his books actually, they're you really
Honestly, same. Same. Even I went on Google to just check, like, okay, fine, now this Last Supper. And he said that, Mary Magdalene's hand is there, so you
yeah,
can see. I was
exactly.
like, oh my God, I'm blown. And it was just a different experience for me because I started reading books with Dan Brown. Before that, I used to only read self-help books because that was my thing, and business related and alchemist, and I absolutely loved those. And then one afternoon, I was like, fine, I'll just read one Dan Brown. And even though it was so fat, I was like, I'll just give it a go. And I couldn't stop reading. It's that kind of a book. Absolutely love it. So I totally recommend. Has anyone read Alchemist over here by any chance?
I have started like Alchemist.
It's in my bucket list.
I have started
Same. I really
Alchemist.
want to read it. Apparently, my philosophy teacher really says that that's a very, very helpful book. So I really want to get into that now.
It's actually a very nice book, and it's like
Yes.
for everyone. Like a 10-year-old can read, or like a 60-year old, and everyone can relate to it. So I think Amal and Janish and even Muskan,
Yes,
please
yes.
read it. It's
I
very
have
nice.
started.
speaking about business books, have you guys read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I
I'm
have read
thinking
Think and Grow Rich. Like I started Think and Grow
I
Rich.
have never. Okay, so I'm from a finance course, and our teachers always keep pestering us to stop reading fiction and as us start reading a bit business-oriented books. So obviously, I've never read any business-related books because she recommended Rich Dad and Poor Dad to us a lot of times. So Amal, have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Please tell me what it is about because I would
no,
like to
no,
leave this
sorry.
session and be able to impress my finance
No,
professor.
I really wanted to read that book, but there is a problem. He himself has gone bankrupt a couple of times. And if he knows the way to
Oh,
make money,
oh.
Robert
Didn't
Kiyosaki,
know that.
yeah. So I was really skeptical about that. But still, there will be a lot of takeaways from that book.
Yeah.
And
Like
yes,
according to me, like my friends have read one or two, and they were like, it helps you a lot, or it gives you a lot of guidelines and all. So I think we should give it a go. Even I want to read it, but yeah, like we should give it a go.
Right. I never go around to reading it for some reason. I always go back to
Same
murder mysteries.
fiction.
Right, right.
I know I'm not a non-fiction person, and I've really heard about Rich Dad Poor Dad, but because I've heard so much about it, a part of me doesn't want to read it. Like because it's so known and everyone's like, you should. So I'm just like, no, now that people are recommending it, I don't want to read.
I know. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Shruti Mukherjee, show us your face. Hey, hi. I thought that was you. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry. It's a bit dark here. Abhi.
No, that's fine. Hi, how have you been? So, a
I'm good.
little
I'm good.
Shruti is going to tell us a little background story. We actually know each other. Uh,
We are from the same team in SDU. We are both in LA, and we had a great time working together.
right, that was fun. Anyway, so I've only known Shruti for like a couple of months, but now she's going to tell us about her favorite genre and her favorite books, and she is going to recommend us some books because that is what we're here to do.
Okay, I basically like slice of life books. One of my favorites is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. And like I haven't even like read her other books, but like that one book, it's written so beautifully. I honestly am not attracted to a specific genre. I just like, if a style of writing appeals to me, na, I can't let go of that book. I don't care what the story is. I don't care what the genre is. If you write beautifully, now I just like, I can't put the book down if that criteria is fulfilled.
A sucker for good
I
literature. I
agree.
can totally relate. I can totally relate.
Same here,
Ah,
actually. And I can relate to this.
it's been such a long time since I've actually sat down with a good piece of literature and properly read it, like from, because in middle school, right, I used to read 400, 500 pages books at a stretch in a go, and that's bizarre to think of right now because I don't get time to read anymore, and everybody is on Kindle and has stopped reading paper books, and that is so sad. Yana,
I
I
do
know.
mean,
you prefer reading on Kindle or actual books?
Not at all. I love the smell of actual books. I mean, it might sound a bit weird, but if I'm having anxiety and anxiety attacks, I just smell the pages and I feel so calm. It's just
that's
And
not
amazing.
there's
weird
like
at
that
all.
one book that
It's
we
heavenly.
own that smells
Placebo.
really special,
Oh,
right?
you're
Old
And
asking me?
books have this really nice smell that you want to go back to it all the time.
okay,
I'm
fun fact, Yana, before you go around smelling all these sorts of weird books, there's one person who actually died of smelling a
Are you
really old
kidding
book.
me?
Yes, because there was this kind of bacteria that
Oh God.
that bred in the between the pages of the book, and this one person just smelled the book and died. So,
Well,
not
I don't
too
do
much.
this. I sanitize and everything because I kind of have a bit OCD. So I don't just go around in the library smelling books, but the books I own, I mean.
I
But
do
it's still
that.
better
I'm
than
guilty
Classical.
of doing that,
smelling a Kindle screen.
honestly.
True, true. But does anyone here prefer a Kindle?
No way.
no, I don't.
I
No?
honestly prefer a
No.
Kindle. The reason is in fiction books there are many times descriptions which are very tough to get right. So I use the dictionary built in itself. That's why. And
Oh,
whenever something is being described, honestly, I don't get it the first 2 or 3 times. I have to reread the chapter again and again.
so I have a friend, and we've had this debate for 2 years now, Kindle versus actual books. Now, I would like to recreate that with Amal and Yana. Amal, you have to convince Yana to read from a Kindle. Let's see how you can do that because I can tell that she is a hardcore book reader.
Okay, I will try to convince her.
Disclaimer. I started my book journey with Wattpad, so I am into ebooks. I was into
Did you
ebooks.
read One Direction fan fictions on Wattpad?
All the time.
Guilty. I'm
That
currently
is
wearing
one
Harry
book.
Styles sweatshirt,
Are
so
you see? Show
what
us
do
your
you
sweatshirt.
expect?
Show us your sweatshirt.
Can you see the
Yes.
fine
Yes.
Fine
line?
The
line.
Fine
fine
line.
line. Yeah.
Wow.
That's super cool.
That's very cool. I already like her so much. Okay, so Amal, you have to convince Yana, who started her journey from Wattpad, to go back to reading from a screen.
Yana, I haven't heard anyone dying after smelling a screen. Right now, like you said,
Good
people
one.
have died by smelling a book. So that's a very big point. Your life is costlier than a book. And another thing I would like to say is I think ebooks are cheap. Okay. So if money is not an issue, then is an issue. Anyway, like Kindle is also costly at the same time. So I can't really say that. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, Manav Hirawat, what do you think? Kindle or books?
Yeah, hi. I personally feel I books. I can't read it on Kindle or anything. I need the actual experience of reading a book in order to get the feeling.
That is very correct. But what do you think of the economic aspect that Amal brought out?
For people who don't mind spending on actual books, it's fine, I guess.
Manav,
Otherwise, simple
actually,
books is
we didn't come to know your favorite genre. Please tell us.
mostly I'm into kind of like, yeah, I don't have a favorite genre, but I mostly read non-fiction, fiction, and religious books.
Religious books, okay. I've
Yeah.
been, my mother has been pestering me to
Mm-hmm.
start reading some religious
Right,
books and
right.
develop a culture. So,
No, no, but I'm
really,
not
tell us
like the
right
guy who
off your
reads
head.
sutra and all that crap. Like I just read. So I'm a Jain, so I read Jainism books. So yeah, kind of. So when I was a kid, my dad got all these comics of Divakar Chitrakatha, that is like a Jain trust for comics. They make Jain comics. So I started reading there, and then I got into novels and all.
Oh, that
That's
reminds
so.
me, like in school, we also had like Indian
Amar Chitrakatha. That was Amar
Hindu
Chitrakatha.
religious, yeah, like
Yeah,
comics. And I used to
yeah.
love reading those.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Back in
My mom
school, I
also.
started when I started reading novels. I started with the Famous Five and Chicken Soup for the Soul. I used to read lots of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Did you
I think I
say,
might.
did you say Famous Five? I relate to you the most because Famous Five and Chicken Soup is what I have grown up on. I have
Yeah,
cried
exactly.
myself to sleep after reading Chicken Soup.
Exactly. Yeah. At first, I was skeptical about chicken soup. The first chicken soup that I ever got was my dad bought one in an airport, and he gave me the book. So I was kind of skeptical at first. But then I came to I like read all the stories and all, and I really felt kind of inspired and sad. And each story has a different feeling to it. So it was really awesome.
No, I know. I completely understand the skepticism because what kind of book is named Chicken Soup, right? And
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
supposed to be good for your soul. And at that point of time, I couldn't really understand. Okay, I must be in like sixth or seventh back then when I was introduced to Chicken Soup. My grandfather used to read a lot of Chicken Soup books. So I didn't really get the idea. And that point of time, I was heavily reading Famous Five and Enid Blyton. So I was really into mysteries and all of that, and then I just switched to soul reading, and that was very uh anyway. Manav, except, would you actually recommend kids these days to go back to reading Chicken Soup, because you don't find people in 6th 7th
Yeah,
grade reading Chicken
exactly.
Soup?
I mean, reading chicken soup and the chicken soup that's meant for your age group is the best thing you can do. Like, for starting with books. Like, if you're a beginner or a novice, you should, like, if you're a teenager, you should read Chicken Soup for the teenage soul and all. So it's like really awesome thing. And usually I just used to skim the chapters which were just like not real, just the author just saying some random things. But I used to love reading the stories in Chicken Soup that were like that happened for real with the person. So that was really awesome.
Do you know what I also read with Chicken Soup was Reader's Digest. Now, I'm not sure if any of
Yeah,
you
actually, my sister was really into Reader's Digest. We used to have one copy all the time, and then I also used to read a lot, but then I kind of like got over it after some time. But yeah, it was like really awesome. I think I still have like a couple of copies hanging around.
Okay, so all of you who don't know what Reader's Digest is, Manav is going to talk us through a Digest because it is a whole experience. And I can actually pull up a Reader's Digest. I think right now, if you give me 5 minutes to, but I'll not do that. Just walk us through a Reader's Digest.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but I think there was so every Reader's Digest had like kind of like sections as you have in a magazine, and but it's like way better than like way better than a magazine. It used to have like fun stories, and it used to have like the things that were like the going on in that week, like what was like really hip in that particular week, something like that. There was like one section for that, and it was like really awesome. I feel my sister has like
That's so
read so
cool.
much Reader's Digest. Yeah, it was like really awesome.
That's
I'm
very
not kidding when I say that I have a whole shelf filled with Reader's Digest books. And so it used to be like a monthly subscription thing where you don't really find a lot of
Yeah.
magazines these days, right? So it's all
Mhm.
online. And okay, chalo, mujhe agar ek article padna hai, I'll just Google it up and I'll read it, right? No, but that didn't happen with Reader's Digest. It used to be, I think, a monthly subscription. I'm not really sure. But Asada used to be jokes and really fun articles, inspirational articles, and puzzles and quizzes and all of that. It used
Yeah,
to be a very
the
good
puzzle.
read.
Yeah. I
Like,
think I started playing Sudoku. I learned Sudoku from Reader's Digest. Like,
are
exactly.
you serious? I used to
Yeah,
solve that Reader's Digest Sudoku all the time.
yeah.
And okay, so what we used to do is my mother used to take me to this bookstore every 2 weeks or something when I was a kid. And I saw this Sudoku book over there. I got really because I started solving because I never understood the puzzles because it's got all kind of weird numbers and I've never been good with numbers and I ended up in finance. Never mind. So that happened and that really got me into Sudoku. So these kind of magazines I think actually helped kids to develop something which I don't see happening today.
Yeah, it doesn't happen nowadays.
Yeah, even in school, we used to get these like newspapers from Scholastic or something. I think
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to solve all different types
Mhm.
of puzzles, and
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was very cool.
I know, right?
Right, but that doesn't happen today because
Yeah,
kids in 6th grade, my nephew, is creating YouTube videos. I am not saying that anything is wrong with that, but I think I come on, come
yeah,
And
on,
I
just
know
go
that.
read Chicken Soup.
Just
and also because the attention span, like we are getting instant gratification, right? A
Oh
book is an
yes,
investment.
you spoke about attention span, Amal. That is one thing that I see people actually struggle with all the time because your phone just keeps pinging, right? Somebody on some corner of the planet is on Instagram every minute, and that is really
I
you
would say
can't.
FOMO,
FOMO,
fear of
yes.
missing out.
How do you deal with FOMO?
I don't know
You
how.
don't?
I'm still thinking about how to deal with FOMO.
Okay. I really want an answer to this because I am guilty of succumbing to FOMO.
I would say one thing:
same.
balanced use is extremely
Oh,
tough. Okay,
I
we
know.
humans are not good at controlling ourselves. I can say one thing.
And especially when Instagram makes it so easy for us to not control ourselves. Yana, do you have any way of dealing with FOMO?
I guess I love being secluded, so I'm actually happy. I'm happy with a classic movie or a book or something. So yeah.
So
Okay.
does it not like disturb you while you're reading a book and someone just texts you,
My
sends you a
phone is
meme?
always on silent. So I mean, even if
What?
my best friend would be dying, I won't know.
And
Wow.
also one thing:
Not to get
stop.
dark. I'm sorry.
No,
Uh,
no, it's all
read
fun.
less. Read less news. I would say.
Yeah, I don't know,
So,
but I mean, there's a whole debate going on recently with the news being fake. So I guess that's where you're coming from, right?
I mean, the world is definitely an interesting place. Okay, it won't stop being interesting to you. I has
Okay,
found that.
wait. I'm sorry to cut you, Amal, but now I really want to see some new faces. Kripa,
Yes,
please show us your face.
I'm the co-host.
Oh, yeah, the co-host. I'm so sorry.
It's all
I'm
right.
very, I'm very sorry because I see all these names on the screen and I'm actually not able to differentiate who are here to talk about books and who are here to help us talk about the books. Anyway, back to
I've joined
Amal.
in from two device.
I saw that actually. That is why I got confused because I really thought someone is trying to be a part of the discussion but can't. Anyway, so
Actually, I
FOMO.
want to be a part of the discussion.
Yes, please.
Please, anyone here who wants to talk, just come
Yes,
on
I'll
camera.
just listen to what you are saying right now. I've been listening to a lot of things that you have been
No,
saying and relating to it.
if you do that, I'll keep on talking. That is the thing with me. If you don't interrupt me, I'll actually go on talking. So please tell us your favorite genre.
I'm mostly into fiction. I love fiction. I started with Percy Jackson. So I'm a very,
Where were you when
very
I
big
called out
Percy
Percy
Jackson.
Jackson? Okay, now
Yeah,
you start
I
talking
heard
about
Percy
Percy
Jackson,
Jackson.
and that is why I've been listening very intently to what you guys have been saying. I'm addicted to Percy Jackson. I literally had the whole collection with me, and my mom gave it away, so I'm very pissed at her now. I was very sad. I collected it over like 5 years or
That is
so.
very sad.
It was mean, dude. It was very mean. I was like, why would you
I've,
do that to me?
I
I've
know.
been through
I
this
feel
heartbreak
that.
too
Then,
many times.
yeah. Then I shifted to Wattpad. So I was addicted to Wattpad for a very long time. Like these, no, the people there, they actually write so, like the
Yeah.
plots and the stories are actually so good. So I was like, yeah, nice, nice. I used to read like 50 or 60 books in a month or so on Wattpad, like just reading. And there are
I
some books which
know.
I really love. Like they got published also. They were so good.
Can you tell us some books?
There
Like,
was this one Bad Boys Girl that I read.
yeah, oh my god, even I've read that.
That was so
Very
good.
good.
It had 3 books, like 3
Yeah.
parts of it. Oh god, that was amazing. And there was this one, Second Chances. It
No,
was a
I haven't
very
read that,
it was a
but
very nice story about this girl who like dies and then goes to another person's body, like the soul like goes
wow.
to another, and then she lives as that person, and makes her life around whatever was going on with that. It was very nice. It was amazing. It was written so well. I was addicted. Yeah, true.
I
I will
know.
agree to that.
Even
Uh,
I've
uh,
read this book called The Heartbroken Heartbreaker, which is apparently published, but
I
not
think I've read it.
here. But it's a
Muskan,
very good book.
what kind of a book is Heartbroken Heartbreaker? Please tell me that.
It is a romantic book, but in the end, it doesn't turn out to be romantic. So that was the biggest plot twist, which made me love the book a lot. Like any plot twist that's not something that's normal, it just makes me love that book. For example, Shutter Island. Like I haven't read the book, but the movie it gave me a headache. But because they did that, I loved it. So I really like books and movies that turn out to be really unexpected.
Yeah, true. I read Gone Girl. I was blown. I was like, whoa. half book mein se, what have you done to the story? Suddenly. I was like, no, but it was actually very nice. Even this movie was very nice. Like, you know how they like ruined Percy Jackson ka movies? I was very pissed. But now they're having a series, so I'm
Ruined?
fine.
No, wait. No, you can't be fine with that. They didn't even ruin the movies. Personally, I think they shouldn't call the movies Percy Jackson,
Yeah,
because where is
exactly.
Percy Jackson, right?
How did the second movie become a compilation of the next 4 books? I was like, what have you done? What is this? How can you do it? But now they're having a series now. There is this one series that is coming out on Disney Plus, in which Rick is
I
himself
know.
a part of the whole
I read,
production. So
but
I'm
my
like, okay,
experience
let's
has
see.
taught me not to take my expectations up high,
Hi.
because
With Percy Jackson, yes.
you can't. You just can't.
They ruined
Okay.
it.
So
Actually,
Aditi,
the movie
yes,
was
Sama.
so bad that the book got a free publicity.
Yeah, true.
Yes, that's true. I actually did that because I have these friends who never read, and when the movies were out, like I was like, "Chalo, chalo, I'll show you Percy Jackson ka movie. You'll at least understand my obsession, right?" And they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll watch the movie." And the movie was so bad. Even even if you don't know the book, the movie was so bad. The storyline was so horrible. I mean, the actors were cute and everything. They got good actors on board, but and then I told them, "Abhi pad lo yaar, Percy Jackson. मैं पागल नहीं बैठी." So they actually read it because the movie was so bad. So that was
That's
there.
so cool. Can you please convince my friends to read Harry Potter also? Like,
That is my job. I do that. That is like the second thing that I do.
So convince
Convince,
me also. I haven't read
yeah,
Harry Potter.
deal with educational stress and
why?
convince people around me to read Harry Potter. That is what I
Amal,
do.
please tell me you've seen the movies at least.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
did you
You've
got
see
seen
the
the
all of them.
movie?
movies?
Actually, it was the first part and really liked it, but then one after another, they started coming in and it got piled up.
Now you
Guys,
have the
And now
entire
I'm confused.
collection.
Should I watch the movie or should I read the books?
Read the books, please. The books are so much more detailed, so much more to tell you than the movies. Like, it's half the book, literally.
so guys, I will take your leave. I have my event Comedy of Errors, Kani Kahi.
Ooh,
So
Best of luck.
all the
I hope you
best.
All the
win.
best.
thank you.
Have
Bye.
fun.
Yes.
Okay. So Aditi, I'm going to just take you've read Harry Potter, right?
Guys,
Yeah.
I am also taking a leave. I am also in Comedy of Errors.
Really, all the best.
All
Best
the
of luck.
Yeah,
best.
best.
All
All the
the
best.
best.
Have fun. See you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes. Okay. Manav, have you read Harry Potter?
Yeah, I have actually, but So basically, my sister bought this entire collection of all the books of Harry Potter together. So then she read it first, and then I read it, but it was like when I was a kid, so I don't really remember much. But I've seen the movies also once.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and not really talk for hours and hours about Harry Potter and convince you to read.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to let Aditi do that.
Mhm.
If I start talking, then I won't stop. I am addicted. Okay, basically, I read Percy Jackson first. Then one of my best friends read, like, my best friend read Harry Potter, and then she got addicted to it. She's like, "You have to read it. You have to read it." Now we have like a clash between if we want to read Percy Jackson or if we want to read Harry Potter. So we are like always fighting on it. But Percy Jackson
I
is
would
like,
rather, I would
have you read
rather,
Percy Jackson though?
yeah. So exactly, I would rather read Percy Jackson rather than Harry Potter
Yeah, but
because
like how
I
Percy
read,
Jackson is like a whole entire universe, once you're reading the book, you're just in that
not because,
demigod world. Where
yeah,
see,
but not
Harry
because,
Potter also has its own.
right, right, but not because of that. I think I've already read Harry Potter once, so I wouldn't want to read it again, even though I don't remember much. But Percy Jackson, I've only read one book and I really loved it, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
Percy.
come to the entire series.
Actually, the problem, like the thing that I saw in Harry Potter was like it's a very serious, everything is very serious. Like the main hero is so, like he's
So this
so
is the type of,
tensed. There is so many problems. But then in Percy
Yeah.
Jackson, the thing they did was they made it comedy. Like the
yeah,
hero himself is joking about everything. So
yes.
I think that is what attracted me more towards Percy Jackson than
Mhm.
to Harry Potter.
Yeah, but growing up, I didn't usually read such kind of books. I grew up reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Anyone knows
When you
that?
were talking about books that you grew up
Yeah.
with, like the Reader's Digest and
Because
all, I was thinking how much I've read Panchatantra and moral
Yeah,
stories. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah,
I
same.
was
yeah.
addicted to moral stories. I have like this collection
I
of 10
think
or
I've read
15 books.
all the moral stories there are in the world. I think I've read all of
Yeah,
them.
moral stories were
Yeah,
Yeah.
now have you read
addicting.
any of these or a series that you really like Percy Jackson or Harry Potter?
Did you ask me? I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear.
yeah.
Not exactly. I haven't read Harry Potter, but I've seen all the movies. It took me a pandemic to get into this fandom.
Finally. I'm
Yeah.
so happy. One more Potterhead.
I never liked fantasy until Harry Potter. So now,
Proud of you. What other series do you like reading?
I haven't read any yet. I
No.
guess I was going to start Percy Jackson, but then I started Harry Potter movies. So I'm kind of really fickle minded.
Same.
You know
I
what?
really have to start reading.
Sometimes I really think I should write like a middle school aspiring reader's guide. So you start with this
Please.
because Manav, you can relate because you have to start with things like Famous Five, right? And then you build on that. You have to start with Enid Blyton. You have to start with, and then you go ahead with Reader's Digest and so on. Anyway, so my internet was really fed up of me as well because then I got disconnected. But I came back and you were talking about Panchatantra. So Panchatantra was a completely different experience, right? Yana, have you read Panchatantra?
When I was really young, really, really young, I don't remember anything. I just remember animals.
Like the
That's the
okay.
whole point of the book, like animals. That is what
Okay,
made me
that is
believe that
so
animals
true.
actually have the story of their own. I see animals and I'm like, inka bhi kuch hoga, something that they also do when we are
I
not seeing
know.
them.
SOS.
You're imagining that they are talking to you when they're
Yeah.
barking or something, all because of these books.
Or talking to each other. They have like
Yeah,
some conversation going on which we will never
totally
know.
get that. Yeah, you're always imagining that. But yeah, Purva, go ahead.
No, it's
So
fine. I have cars passing by, so I have to mute myself in the middle.
yeah,
It's
no
fine. Go
worries.
ahead.
I was just thinking that I heard people say that movies end up killing that imagination. So like, do you guys agree with that, or do you think it gives more like it enhances your imagination? In fact,
Movies or
For
books?
some
movies
movies, I
for
think
books
it's good.
adapted into movies. That those.
Mhm.
Yeah, Manav, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that if the book is really badly written, I think the movie is really going to be helpful for you to understand what the author is trying to say. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like seeing the movie. I just like reading the book instead.
No, I think there are some books that they actually inculcate into a movie nicely, but there are some that they don't. Like some movies are like horrible as compared to the books. Like because they have limited time. I get it. You have limited time. You can't put everything that the book is saying into the movie. But then there are some parts which are supposed to be there in the movie, and you just cut them out, and it's very bad. And that's it. That is when I have to read the book. Like for 13 Reasons Why, also when the series came out, I read the book and it was like slightly different from what they have shown. So I think that is what I do. I see a series or
Wait,
I read a book and then I go and see
are
the
you
movie or book.
serious? 13
Yeah.
Reasons Why
It's
is
like
the
a very
better book
thin
than
book.
a better book than the TV because okay.
No, it's not better, but it's different. It's not
It's
exactly what
different.
the
Okay,
series
okay.
is showing you.
Okay, because then I would have judged the book. Because 13 Reasons Why is like one show that I never got around like finishing.
Yeah, even
So
I
Aditi,
only saw the first season.
you said that a lot of movies actually do justice to the books.
Some do, yeah.
Off my mind, I can only think of one. Actually, I can think of two. How many can you think of? And tell us.
I think I have seen. I can remember only two because when somebody asks me a question, I blank out. Okay, so I forgot everything that I knew. So I think Gone Girl is one. They actually made it very properly. Like the whole plot was very nicely there. Harry Potter I like because even though they did not put most part of the book, but there are things which you can justify it with. Just say how they have done with Percy Jackson. Uske comparative mein Harry Potter is good. So Harry Potter is one. And now I can't remember of any other books. Twilight was nice. Twilight was very properly made as compared to the books. I've read all
You
4
had
books.
a Twilight phase too. I can tell. Did you read
I
Twilight?
was
Tell me.
addicted to Edward Cullen. Okay, I
Oh
was so
yes.
addicted. I have
But
read
your
all
team
fan fiction.
Edward.
Oh,
No,
I don't
wait.
like
I was
Jacob.
always
Yeah,
Team Jacob.
Yeah, same. Team
I was
Jacob.
always Team Jacob.
I'm
it's just
not
that
a fan,
Always.
when you know he's the
but
hero. Wait,
Yes,
what is
no,
Manav?
Manav?
continue. No, continue.
No, what were you saying? We want to know.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm not gonna lie, but I think the parody movie of Twilight was better than the Twilight movie
So
itself.
good, so
Vampires.
good.
Okay, so before you go ahead and judge me for being a proper fangirl of Twilight, let me tell you, I have been through phases. In like the 8th grade,
Same
I
here.
read Twilight like a maniac. But now I wouldn't even watch the movies, to be honest. I just
Yeah,
won't.
once I saw
Because
the
they don't make
Vampire
sense to me
Diaries,
anymore.
now I hate it. I'm just like, what
Actually, or
Bhagwan was
kuch.
this? No,
Because I
but then
grew out
at
of
that
that.
time, see, the point is when once you know that he's the hero, like for Edward, once you know that he's the hero, and then he's not there in the second book, and then Jacob is trying to come now. I'm just like, no, you go, don't come in between them. So that is when I started hating Jacob. I would have been Team Jacob, but I was just like, no, he's not the hero. I don't want to get addicted to him.
A big factor of me being in Team Jacob is Taylor Lautner.
Yeah,
I love him.
Exactly.
dude, that
Exactly.
guy.
I
The whole
really
reason
do.
I'm
I
Team
have
Jacob is because of him.
I know Yana, in case you're wondering, if you should go and read Twilight now, don't. Because now you can't
I
relate
know.
to it.
I have seen bits of Twilight, so not at all. And I've seen the
The
parody.
the thing that was most ridiculous was that vampire ka shining body. Why would
He
their
like the
body shine
Vampire
like
I
Diaries.
diamonds
swear.
in the sun? That is
Yeah,
stupid.
exactly. No vampire. I mean, the whole concept is unrealistic, but vampires shining was just something different.
Stupid. It was damn stupid. I saw TVD na after that, so I was like, "Chhi, ye to मेरे को
Exactly.
देखना ही नहीं है अब इसके बाद." What have they done with vampires? They look like jokers in this.
No, but I'm sure so many of us have vampire phases, and we actually go
Yeah,
around looking at
true.
people
I
and
I
know,
wishing they were
do.
after
vampires.
reading Twilight.
After Twilight, then
No,
after TVD, I was addicted. I was like,
They're
okay,
originals. They even made a
somewhere they will
spin-off.
have
The
vampires.
originals is
Lisa,
the
you
superb
know
show.
what?
Should.
A huge part of every girl's obsession with TVD and the originals is Klaus Michelson,
I
Damon
And
swear.
Damon Salvatore. Damon
Team
Salvatore
Team
most of all.
Damon.
I am Team
Lisa
Damon.
is I'm Team Damon. I'm Team Klaus
Team
actually.
Stefan
I have a
and
thing for
Klaus
his
also.
accent.
It's like you can't choose.
I am
All
also
of them
Team
are such good
Elijah. I
looking.
love, he is so hot, dude. He looks so
He's
good.
the
Yeah.
perfect gentleman.
Even
Oh,
the
yes.
worst characters look better than usual people. Like even Matt Donovan, he's like the worst character, but he
He
still
looks
looks
so
better.
good.
Yes.
The casting and the type of music that they've selected. Mind blowing. Do you remember that one villain, Kai? He came in,
Yeah,
I
The
think,
dude.
psychopath.
My God,
Malachi.
people are crazy behind him.
I know. I'm guilty because his accent. Come on.
Even
And then
Enzo.
another friend of Dane's, Enzo. Right.
Enzo is so good.
I think I'd pick Enzo over Stefan.
They killed him. I was so
Enzo
sad.
I swear that
is-
was so
Enzo was the
unnecessary.
best.
And the way they killed him,
Exactly.
he didn't even fight back. Just सीधा से पीछे से हाथ निकाल लिया. I was like, what have you
killed
done?
him. Stefan out of
That's
everyone.
sad.
So bad it was.
I was so heartbroken.
And I
Look
think
at
the
us.
first death was Sarah Salvatore. That was so unnecessary. Like
Yeah,
we
true.
shouldn't have killed. And Damon was the one who killed her, and that was so heartbreaking.
Even that one. Who was that werewolf? Tyler Lockwood.
Tyler comes back
Damon.
in the originals, and
Yeah.
when I saw that, I was actually jumping on my sofa, like, how can he be back on that show?
I know. It was good, yeah. But I love Nina's acting, dude. She like pulled off all the
Catherine Pierce
doppelganger
watching-
roles so
I love
nicely.
Catherine, but I
Such
hated
bad
Nina.
bitch
But-
energy you get from Catherine.
Yeah,
Pierce.
but it's so like the whole shift from being
Yeah.
Alina to Catherine. It's so nice the way she's
You couldn't
pulled it off.
believe
Do
that
you
Nina
remember?
is the same person who's playing both the characters, Edina and
Yeah,
Catherine, at the same time.
exactly.
The switch was completely.
You just can't.
Yeah, it
It
blew
was
my
good.
mind.
Even Paul Weasley from Silas to Stefan was very nice.
Yeah.
They actually had a very nice cast. Yeah, I love that show. I'm addicted to that show now. You know, the problem with shows is that you stop reading books. I have got addicted to shows and movies. I've
Exactly.
stopped reading books only.
Completely. Like now Netflix is the most used thing.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I have like
I don't
this
even go to
collection
Wattpad
of
anymore.
books. I think I've gotten more addicted to buying books than to reading them.
Exactly.
I feel you.
Aditi here has said the most relatable thing ever. Because I buy so many books. I buy
so many.
too
I go to
many
that,
books.
you know, there is one hall near our college which gives you books by weight. I go there
Oh,
all
yes.
the time.
Really?
I
Wow.
am
And you get
there
the-
all the
How come I
time.
didn't know that already?
Yeah, please.
Where is
My
this?
Lisa,
God,
okay,
it's so
so-
good. How do you not know it?
Let me so they and you know that the ones that they sell by weight, so definitely, but then you go ahead towards the fort side and there is Hutatma Chowk over there.
Kitab Khana is also so good.
It's that fountain over there and there's so many book vendors sitting.
Yeah.
And
I know.
and you go there and you tell them any name of a random book and he'll magically pull it out from somewhere. Because
Please
they
tell me
have
where this is. I have to,
everything.
you know, buy my whole Percy Jackson collection.
Okay, cool. So you go towards the fourth side, right? Kolaba side,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
this one fountain.
Oh, you know
I
that
don't
one,
really remember
that
because-
shops which give you books by 100? Is that the one?
Yes,
you're
yes,
talking about?
yes,
Yeah,
that
I've been
one.
there.
Yes.
I bought Rich Dad Poor
10,
Dad
15
from there.
vendors sitting over there.
Even I bought Rich Dad Poor Dad from the same place.
I never got
Even
around to
I'm
reading.
guilty of buying like books from the station. And,
Oh
like,
yeah, I do that.
Do
any
you know
place
what?
I
You
find
can't
books that
know.
are cheap, I'll buy it.
The bookstore station. Once I got this book from a station. It started off with a book. बीच में कोई और book था. And कोई और book से हुआ. I got that book. I got that book for I think.
So that's good. You got
100
3
rupees.
books in one.
That's a
But
good
that
deal.
was disorienting. That felt like my degree.
But that reminds me. Once I bought a from the station only, and I think 2 or 3 pages were missing, which was like the climax part.
Oh,
And now
that's
I
so
don't
sad.
know what happened or
I
something.
know
I
half
love
of them
it.
are not printed properly and you just don't know what you're reading at one point.
That was literally like the climax. Like, they're like, oh, they went inside. And then there's nothing. Like now, I don't know what happens. Okay, is the killer there or not there? I don't know what happened. I left it. I didn't even bother anymore. I was like, forget it now. It's okay. It's ruined for me. It was
I don't know
very
why,
sad.
Disha,
but this reminds.
the best part of buying books like these, even from Hutatma Chowk or the station, is sometimes you come across these books and they have notes written at the start. You know, like with love from dad, or you say just from your grandfather. I hope this proves to be a very XYZ. And they're so cute. And you actually start thinking about the people who read that book, who went through the same things that you're going through. That always fascinates me.
This reminds me, this like the last Rakhi that we had, my brother, so like my elder brother, cousin, he knows that I'm addicted to books. Okay, so he'll never buy me any Rakhi present. He'll just get me books. So that is what we have been doing for
That's
the past
so
5 years.
good.
I had told
That's
him,
actually
please
really
You're
don't
cute.
get
so
me
lucky.
anything.
Brothers,
I
please,
know. I
please.
love him. He got
You
me
know what my
Sapiens
brother
and
does?
what?
My brother puts TV shows on a pen drive and gives it to me as a Rakhi present. ये
Shah.
क्या है?
No, I
My
know my
brother gives
brother,
me
yeah.
movies. My brother gives me movies. And like before, when we had PC, like this, like 5 or 7 years back, he used to give me games for my PC when we didn't. And I'm like, okay, books.
No, my real brother, he's like younger to me. He'll give me chocolates. I'm fine with that. But my elder brother will get me books all the time. So he got me these 3 set of Amish ke Ram, Sita, and Ravan. This like the last Rakhi, and one of it was signed by the author. I was so happy. I was like, "What? You did this for me?" I am like grateful, indebted to you all my life. How can you do this for
You're
your
so
fan?
lucky. That's beautiful.
I
No.
have met the author of my favorite book and I have clicked a picture with him.
Please
And
What
tell
is your
us.
favorite book?
Ooh.
it's actually like
Wait,
a
before that,
self-portrait.
Nishi, wait, Disha, before you go ahead, Nishi, you said you gift your friends books. Whenever
Please become
my
my
friends have
friend.
gifted, huh?
Even
Please.
we want such friends.
Yeah,
I
we
know,
want such
because
friends.
my friends, when I like actually crib and cry and I say that I want books, my book collection is not big enough, and my mother won't let me buy any more books because then she'll kill me. So, and these people get me the worst kind of books, the worst. I don't even want to read them. So,
One
how do
of
you
my friend
decide
got me
what
That's
Gone
books to
Girl.
very
give?
So I
sad.
was very happy with her.
You're so
She
lucky.
got
Your
you what?
brother's giving you
Gone Girl.
books signed, and you're
Gone Girl.
feeling Gone Girl books. Like,
I was very
No,
happy.
Aditi's book collection is sorted. She doesn't need
Oh
to
yeah,
yeah,
work
I can
towards
show
it.
you my whole book collection. It's right up there. It's like so many. There are like 2 shelves of books that I have. Then I have one in my
Wow.
wardrobe. There's niche pura books. That is all
It's
Jana,
mine.
weird
what
that I
about
really
you?
want to see your
Your book
bookshelf right
collection.
now.
If
Oh, my
only.
mom recently got me a book shelf thing. I was so happy from IKEA, and I was
Yeah.
here attending my stupid lectures, and then the lectures got cancelled. Okay, so I couldn't go there. But for my last birthday, a group of friends gave me a collection of books: Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, and Great Gatsby.
Wow. Did you read Pride and Prejudice?
Wait, did you say
So I
private?
was so no, I
I've read the
started,
first
but
chapter. I could never
yeah.
get through that book. It's so weird.
Why? The movie.
Same.
Okay,
I
wait.
did 2 to 3. I've seen the movie. I kind of think that I don't want to start it because I don't want to complete it because it's a classic and it just holds a
Yeah.
sacred place in my heart. So
You know, the thing with Pride and Prejudice is the first time I read it was when I was in the 10th grade, I think. And that time, my whole perspective towards the book was very different. And is it, okay, so yeah, my internet is stable. And then, and then I read it again when I was in the 12th grade. And then the whole meaning of the book just changed for me. It is that kind of a book because the more you read it, the more you come to know about it. You can't just read it once and leave it. And Lisa, if you can't get through the first chapter, just know that Mr. Darcy is one hell of a man. You'll fall in love with him. And,
No. Please
and that
read
should
it.
be
I
okay.
will.
So my elder brother, he went to Paris like a few months back, and he got me a hardcover Pride and Prejudice copy from there, and that is my prized possession of all time. I I'm a sucker for hardcover books, man, and especially when they're
No, but there's so much confusion because like hardcover books are heavy. You can't carry them. And like paper
and they're expensive.
tear all the time. So I don't know what to read.
Kindle, Muskan, Kindle.
No, but
No,
imagine
I need
a
the
maroon
smell
colored
too.
hardcover
So
Pride and Prejudice book. Just imagine.
But nothing matches the feeling when you read an actual book. It's a totally different feeling. It's not the same when you read Kindle.
true. Even I keep like smelling books, and my friends all look at me like I'm some weirdo.
I have a weird thing. Every time I love a book, I bring like this plastic cover and then I cover it. And if I have to give it to a friend, I'll put it in a Ziploc and I'm like, don't eat or drink while you're reading that book. I just have this weird thing with books. Like, if I
Even
love
I
it, then
have
I
it.
just cover it.
Anytime I give any of my friend a book, I'm just like, if anything happens to this, like even if I see one spot, you are going to be dead.
I know.
Don't
Also,
even
I have
try.
this. Yeah, I
You know,
I
there's
also
one
this.
thing they do when they fold the corners of the
Fold the
page that
corners.
flips me out.
Exactly.
Even
क्यों
when
करते
they
हो?
open the book too, yeah, the spine. That's what. When they open it like completely, and there are creases on the spine. I'm like, just
Yeah.
please don't. It's
I like my
it's
pages
very sad.
crisp. They are really something.
See, I think we should. I think I'm getting really inspired to write a reader's guide. I think
Please.
I'm going.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll put it on
Nishi,
Wattpad. I'll put it on Wattpad so Yana and Aditi can see it first.
Honestly, I keep remembering my Wattpad phase, and I feel so bad. I used to read books
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the
It was
morning.
Muskan,
such a
you
blur.
used
It
to
was like
read
a
books.
hangover. It was like a hangover.
Yeah, like
I used to put my articles on Wattpad. I used to
I
post on
wrote a book on
Wattpad.
Wattpad. It was a fan
please
fiction.
tell me. I'll read
I
it.
want to go and check that right now. Wait.
Tell
Yeah,
us
please.
about it.
Who wrote a book?
Please tell us about
I
it.
wrote a book, but I
Aditi,
never, completed it or anything. It's just there.
Fine.
Because I
it's
didn't
okay.
see, there was this one time when I was really
Same.
into, I had to write a book, I have to do this, and then suddenly I'm just like, nah, I can't do it anymore.
I
It's
can
fine. I
relate to you.
still want to
Still
read
might
it.
have that draft.
I can relate to you so
That
much.
writer's block wala thingy, something like that. Become
My
very
Please tell
writer's
us the
block
name.
has lasted for 4 years now. I started. I don't think
Yes, I
I'm
live
going
in
to go
writer's
around.
block, and sometimes I actually
Yana,
write.
your
Voice
internet is
is breaking.
unstable.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
Nishi's
second.
talking about Little Woman. I read Little Woman. I
I'm
cried
so
for days
sorry.
straight. It was so depressing, that book.
I've seen the movie. I haven't
I
read
read
it.
the book,
Yeah,
man,
even
and I
I
read it long
haven't.
back. But then, when like she's not read it, I'm going to give you spoilers, Nishi. One of the
Nishi.
sister dies.
No, Aditi,
I
no.
Aditi,
cried.
No,
that's a
don't do that.
really
La, la, la,
bad
la.
thing to
No, no,
do.
no,
Oh,
no, no, no,
come
no, no,
on,
no, no. You can't do that. No,
Thank you
She's
for
not
ruining.
completing it anyway. She's like, I am not going to complete it.
no. You
But
can't give
still,
spoilers.
Depressing book, man.
the
I
movie
never,
was really good. Like
What do
the
you mean
never
one
get
that
to
depressing?
see
came
it.
out.
It's
So
such a
It's
cute
depressing,
movie,
yeah.
and then you think it's such a cute. Initially, it's a very cute book.
Yeah,
You
it's
find
it's
yourself
actually a
wondering.
very cute book.
You find yourself wondering which one of the sisters you are. And I never really got around to decoding my own
Yeah,
personality.
I
So
never
I built
did.
my personality on the character.
Which one? Which one?
I don't remember. So I really like Joe because Teddy was in love with Joe, and I really loved Teddy. So I
Yeah, even I like Jo.
sense.
Her
Same,
personality
even
was
I
also
like
very
you.
cool. She was a very
Yeah,
bubbly kind of
I
a
agree.
person.
Yana, is your internet back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Can
hear
we?
you.
Can we?
Yeah,
Yes,
cool.
go ahead.
I was saying that I guess I live in writer's block and sometimes I write. I don't get writer's block phases. I sometimes get writer phases.
Yeah, true.
Do you know?
Get
At
that.
least you guys can write. The only thing that I write these days are financial reports. And it is so pathetic
That's
because I used
sad.
to write about wait, I used to write about these really fantasy things and oh my god, like a magical world. And now I've gone back to writing about the stocks and everything. That's just sad. That's
It
what my
is.
life is.
Why didn't you take
Anyway,
literature?
because okay, fun thing. I really love literature, but I don't like the way literature is taught in our Indian education system. So I'd rather study literature on my own than study it from someone else who really doesn't do it the way I do it.
Makes
So I
sense.
never got around to doing literature, and then I went to finance. You find yourself making these decisions and regretting. Never mind. Little
I
Women,
know.
Nishi, did you start reading Little Women? Which one do you relate to? Which one of the sisters do you relate to?
Joe.
Joe. It
I think
always has to be
everyone,
Joe.
I think
Everybody.
everyone said Joe. Like,
Yes, because Teddy loves Joe, and everybody loves Teddy. No, but truly, her
Yeah.
spirit is really nice,
Yeah.
really nice.
There was this
Even
one book which we got in our school. Like you get those rapid readers in your school, like that extra reading books. They gave us
yes.
this one book, The Giver. It was so good. Have you guys read it? The Giver.
no,
I think it's a very underrated book. We got it as a extra reader. It was very good. Like it is
What is it
absolutely.
about?
It's about basically there's this world that they live in which has no colors in it, and there is only one person who has seen the world in colors. So he's the like he is some his there's some name to him, and there is one person that he chooses from the whole world who he'll give those powers to. So he is the giver. And so this one boy, uska pura journey, they show of how he like dheere dheere, he gets that person's powers and starts seeing colors and everything. And in the end, he's just like nobody's worth these colors, and he takes those colors and he runs away with one of his like baby brother or something. And it was very nice. It was a very
Wow.
different
We
thing,
had
very
David
nice.
Copperfield in as a rapid reader.
Lisa, yes, that is
Yeah,
exactly what I was
I
going to
know.
say. We had
Hmm. I
David
was trying to
Copperfield.
recollect.
We
I
had
couldn't remember.
We
It's
had
in
The
the end,
Alchemist
like,
also.
Oliver Twist,
wow.
right? Yes. So that was the bridged or the abridged version. I don't remember. But recently, during the lockdown, like I said, another one of my phases, I really wanted to read a lot of classic British literature. And I was like, no, I'll go back to Charles Dickens only, and I'll read David Copperfield through that.
Charles
But I
Dickens, oh
read
my
David.
god, yeah.
I want to really show you guys my books now.
Sure.
So I ordered, I ordered
You
Oliver
guys
Twist.
giving me all Rory Gilmore vibes.
Don't say that. I don't like her.
You don't
I
like
really
Gilmore
don't like. No, I love Gilmore Girls. So wait, now I'm going to get sidetracked because I'm easily distracted. So you start liking Rory at the beginning, right? Has Yana seen Gilmore Girls?
I had started, but I kind of got bored in the one episode. In the first episode, it was
It's
really
just
slow,
basically
so I
two
left
people
it.
talking. It doesn't really have a storyline, I feel.
Oh, so is it good? Is it good enough
It
to
is
watch?
really, it is
It's a
very
very light show.
heartwarming.
Yeah.
Very heartwarming. And uh, I'd recommend you to watch it with your mother. That'd be really cool. And so Gilmore Girls, you start liking Rory because she's, you relate to her at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then she makes these series of really stupid decisions that could have been avoided. I will, we can talk about that later. We can talk about that
I
later.
mean,
But
isn't
yes,
that all our lives? Like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
relatability
situations.
101.
also true. Also true. So yes, I read Wuthering Heights also, but I didn't like it that much. Maybe
I know,
mera,
right? I feel like it's overrated for some reason. Like,
have any one of you read Wuthering Heights?
Mm.
That is like Aditi,
can't
you're
hear
not
We
you.
can't
Sorry.
audible.
hear you.
I was saying if any book is too hyped or it's extremely like famous or anything, I won't read it only. I don't want to read it only.
I do the
Like the
same way.
subtle
I'm
art of
like,
not
Same.
giving
yes.
a fuck. It's the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
overrated. Like,
Yeah, I never read it. I was like, I don't want
I've
to
I
read
read
it.
it.
tried
I
reading it.
started reading it, but
Can
I
you
hated
please
it.
Yeah.
tell me
Same.
There are
what that
some
is
parts of
about?
the books which
It's
actually
basically
make
how you
sense,
should
but
not care about things in life. How you should not give a fuck to things.
But that person is
But
like, don't give a fuck about everything. Like,
Everything.
everything.
Exactly.
It's
You
like,
can't do
I'm
that.
mad.
it actually works
Exactly.
for me sometimes. When I actually don't care
Sometimes.
about something, it actually ends up working out. It helps
Can
me.
you please tell me how to do
But
that?
very
Because I've
rarely.
always wanted to know what the book says, but I didn't want to be one of them who read the book.
Yeah.
Because then that means you're actually
No,
giving
it
up.
I
just
also didn't
basically
read it
means what
earlier.
I've perceived from the book. It basically means give a fuck about things which are actually important, which are actually going to matter. Choose what are you giving a fuck about. Not you can't be bothered about literally everything and every little thing. So really choose where are you giving a fuck.
Nishi, can you tell us about Around the World in 80 Days? Because
Yes, I was just going to ask her that. You can unmute yourself. You don't have to go through the pain of typing it out.
It's about a bet made by a man. It's like based in early 90s, something that era. So it's still when people believe that the Earth is a flat thing, I guess, planet. So yeah, so
I
it's
think
basically a bet between two people, and yeah, it's just the guy who makes the bet. The bet says you have to travel around the world in 80 days. Is it possible? He has to go to every country. That's the deal. It's interesting because of all the events which happen.
that sounds very interesting. Right.
I know. I just saved that Zoom ka chat because people have posted book names
Yeah, I know.
later.
Aditi,
So
we need to know your Wattpad book. I'm going to go read it, please.
I have like 2-3 books which I read and none of them are complete. So there are I never
It's
came to
fine.
complete any of it.
well, I
Okay,
know I want to read. I want to know your Wattpad handle.
Yeah, please.
I think it's Dark Dreamer or something. I am not even sure. I have not seen Wattpad for
Can
decades.
you please read something out? You pick. Can you just read something that you've written?
Let us know
Something that
your
I've written.
Wattpad ID. So,
And Yana, if you've written something, we want to hear that as well. And once all
I
of you,
have a writing page if you want to check out.
of
Yes,
course,
please.
yes. I'm
Why not?
always a sucker for writing pages.
It's
Yeah,
called
what is it?
writings.
How many of you
I
here
just
hate
started.
maths? Just with a show of hands.
Same.
Hate maths. Okay, so
I love
when I
math.
was
I love math.
okay, which is really hilarious. So this one article, I used to like write about random things, and I wrote this article when I was in ninth. I wrote 2 articles. 2 of them I'm very proud of. One that I hate waking up early, and second that I hate maths. So once everyone is done reading theirs out, I'll read mine.
I
Yana,
also
can you
know,
read
there
something?
was this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh, sure. So,
Aditi, you can say.
I was
I
saying there
stumbled
was
across
one
this poem
thing.
on
Let her
Twitter
complete. Yeah.
by this guy, and I really loved it. So I wrote it from a girl's perspective, and then I posted it like a collab on page. So I'll read I'll read
Yeah.
mine. It's called one second. It's called Try to Hold On. So here it goes. My paper houses hold more hurt than the ruins of Babylon. I wish I could stay out for a night. I try to hold on to the idea of the warmth that you made of. I forget healing when you ebb out your feelings. And darling, I try. I try to hold on. But your eyes remind me of warships in the ocean. Your smile, a universe that I'm not cut for. And your thoughts, a constellation of barbed wire. You listen to my stories as if you were reading a fantasy novel. Stories that get lost in places like brothels. You've got the Dead Poet Society in you, and you smell cigarettes after sex. But darling, I try. You're all the songs I've heard, and all the books I've yearned to be in. But you will always be someone more than I can have, more than I could ever describe, yet alone deserve for my soul than my skin. You're beautiful like Mozart's drafts. You smell of a Beethoven dream. I paint Picasso's hurt, but still you try to find a muse in me. So I try to get out of all your stupid metaphors and try to hold on to my reckoner. But honey, you need to try harder, harder to not fall for me. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh,
That
good.
was beautiful.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Jinx, that really was. Really,
Yeah.
really, really
Like,
was. Beautiful. Actually, it took me to another completely different
I
place.
was just about to, like, all of us were in that zone
I
while you
know,
were
right?
reading it. So
Thank you so
good.
much.
Just tell me your Instagram handle
Yeah,
because I
please.
It's
love
called
following
Yeah,
pages
true
like
that.
it's
these.
called Writings with 2 G's and 3 S.
Okay, I'll check your page out because
Got
it's
it.
so hard to really find good
I know, right?
write-ups
I
on
found it.
Instagram.
Yeah, I found it too. Following you.
That's
Going to
really
go
that.
through and
My
read all of
God,
that
the
after
theme
this
is also
section.
so good, man.
Thank
The
you.
page.
Wait, even I'm going to check out now.
Yeah.
FOMO.
Aditi, you were saying something.
Yes, I want to hear Aditi's writing.
I was a very I was a very stuck up kid who used to read like a lot of novels and tried to make some story of my own, like join 2 3 novels and stuff. So there was one book that I was started writing, never completed it because I didn't understand what was the plot. Like I thought of it and then I forgot about it. So I was just like, "Ki kya tha? I don't remember anymore." So yeah, so there was this one book that I wrote, Never Ending Maze. I will read the prologue ka thoda sa part.
Is that on Wattpad?
Yeah, it's on Wattpad.
Can you
Like the
tell us
half-written book on Wattpad.
Yeah, can you tell me your ID? I'll follow you.
Wait, it's like underscore dark with a double K and underscore dreamer with a double R.
Has anyone read The Scarlet Pimpernel as their rapid reader?
No, I've never read it.
No. No, but you have to tell us what it's about. Every time you bring up something that others don't know.
No, I actually had this as my rapid reader and I completely forgot the storyline. It's very similar to David Copperfield, and it's the backdrop is based on the French Revolution. I don't really
Wow.
remember what happened in that book. I thought some of y'all must have read and you could tell me.
No. So for rapid readers, we had this very
We had JC and MOV.
Even we had a
MOV.
movie.
MOV.
I
Yeah.
liked MOV.
All
Yeah. I
ICSE
liked
I
students in
MOV.
the
loved
house, right?
MOV. I
Nobody
loved
liked
MOV.
MOV.
I loved MOV. Come on.
No,
It was
nobody
fun
in
to
my
read.
school loved MOV, so they were just like, "You're a
We
creep.
even
How
had
can you
As You
like it?"
Like It.
I've never
As You
read
Like
it.
It, yes. Yes. So we had these, we really had good rapid readers up until the sixth grade. Then our teachers changed and we had really crap rapid readers. So there's this book called Ranthambore. It is about the Ranthambore National Park. And it was all about poachers and tigers. Man, I don't want to read about that now. Cute. And we all had this option, 10th maybe you're from ICSE, about Animal Farm or MOV, right? If I'm not wrong.
Oh, they
And
didn't give us.
nobody did Animal Farm because that is one stupid book I could never comprehend.
Did you
I
even get a
never
choice
understand.
to
I
We
didn't
select
got
get
a
a
between?
choice.
Oh, wow.
If there is one book that you should never read, it is Animal Farm because I don't understand what it is.
I guess I have it in my current syllabus.
My brother had it. I've read parts of it. It's stupid.
Is it
Wow,
like
do you
English
not
version
have a
of
choice?
Panchatantra or something?
Yes, I
It
think
is?
it is that. It is like George Orwell's take on Panchatantra. Now it gives me that. I never thought about it that way. Anyway, Aditi, go ahead.
What?
You were reading your prologue.
I don't want to. I've been trying to avoid it. Don't make
Come
me
on,
read it.
even I read mine.
It was very
You can't
nice.
avoid
Okay, it was
this.
very nice. Okay. So I'll give you a little backstory of what I was trying to do, so you'll understand why I could not do it. So there was this. Okay, so when I was in school, I was a very shy kid who did not talk to
Yeah.
much people, and so there there were parts where I was bullied also. So there is this one thing that I wanted to do. I was always wanted to write a book about myself, not exactly about myself. It is about me, but not about me. So I started writing this one book where there was this one guy that I hated in school. Okay, he used to he was behind me for no reason, and I was like, I don't even talk to you. Why are you so worried about everything that I do? So I wanted to write something about that and how in 11th and 12th I went to Pace, and Pace is the most shittiest place you can go to, shittiest place, and there is no life people have there. Okay, so I was like very frustrated with 2 years of college, and I was like, I've done nothing in college, I have to do something. So I started writing this book about an exciting college life, about what exactly I could have done in college if I was in college And sorry, my mom is there behind. Yeah. So so I wrote this book. So the starting was this is the prologue, okay? All I see is darkness, stretching in front of me in the never-lasting plains. I keep running, but I hear footsteps behind me, closing up on me. I tripped over myself and fell on the cold ground. I struggled to get up fast enough, but then I hear him, very close. Hearing his icy, sharp, and malicious voice, a shiver runs down my spine. Run, run, run. Run as much as you can, but I'll always find you. Be it to another school or the other part of the world. You are my property, only mine. I woke up with a jolt. Sweat trickled down my spine. The nightmares, they never stopped. Have I taken the right decision? I'm not running away from my past, but I needed to get away. I needed this change. It's for the best. I tried to convince myself. But I know it's just not true. I'm running away from my past, from the demons in it, from my fears and my insecurities, but most importantly, from him. That's the prologue.
The metaphor. Oh my god.
Wow.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Why were you not? Why are you not proud of writing that? I really had
Exactly.
goosebumps.
Because I don't know what I see. That is what I wrote, and I was very proud of myself. But I don't know what I have to do with it now. See, the point is
such a good
the
way
prologue
of
makes you
expression.
like it makes you think there is something which has gone so wrong in the past, that there is something that she's running away from. But then you have to think of something that is equally so mind-boggling that made her run away from it. I don't want to be like 13 reasons why, like stupid things, she cutting her hand in the bathtub, what is wrong with her? These are not reasons you die for. Something like that. Because I was not getting a proper idea, but I was thinking of things, but they are like very common. I want to do something which is like extremely something which will make people think like, whoa, this is the reason she ran away.
Good things take time.
Yeah, it is taking 5 or 6 years. That's very long.
That's a very long time.
I don't
would
think
have-
anyone goes on Wattpad anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Not
Because
there.
you know what they have done?
I do.
It's premium.
The best books have become premium.
Exactly.
That is what they have done.
There was this
But
one
has a
book called
premium?
Silhouette.
Yeah, it just like this is a new update.
I don't know Silhouette.
Yeah, I've heard about it, I think.
I mean, okay, I don't
haven't
know
read
you
it.
also, but my phone's password is a ship name of those characters because it was such a beautiful book, but now it's premium. She rewrote it. She's this girl from, I guess, northeastern part. She's an Indian and she wrote this book. It was really beautiful, but now she made it premium. She rewrote it. So
That's very sad. Even I was reading this book. Okay, it sounds very childish. It's called Death is My BFF. And I really
Muskan, I'm really judging you by your titles.
I know the title is
You're
very
saying
bad.
It sounds childish. It sounds dark. Death is my BFF.
The book was actually good. Even though the title is very weird, the book was so good. And she started rewriting it again. She just didn't finish the first part that she wrote. And it's like still not over. And it's so sad and irritating. Like, I want to read the book. And now I'm over the Wattpad phase. So even that's gone. Like,
Yeah, even I am over that phase. There was this
It
one
was
time
such a
when you were
good
addicted to
book
it.
about.
What? Yana and Disha said at the same time. I could not hear them.
what did you say, Disha?
I said, what is the book about? This is my BFF.
I don't even remember. I really don't remember. I read that when I was like 13 or something, or 12 probably. And it's so long ago. But I really liked that book. I know that much. And I really want to read it for some reason. So
Okay, so there's one book that I've read and I'm not proud of. I mean, I shouldn't say that I'm not proud of, but I don't really like publicizing the fact that I've read Princess Diaries.
Oh God, people were addicted to it.
you don't have to. I mean, the movies are amazing.
No, please.
I mean,
I was
honestly,
addicted to that book. I've not seen the movies though, but you
Which
know, one
book?
of my friend, Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries, okay. I have someone with me.
I was so addicted to those books. I actually have, like, I started writing, that diaries, like the journals that we write, everyday notes and stuff, because I could not write anything else. I was just like, I'll write about myself only, what happens in my day. So I started writing in eighth. And at that time, these people were addicted to Princess Diaries. So I used to write things like, how Mia used to write things in her diary, like things to do in the day, things that you should notes to yourself and stuff. I have done that. And that is
Same.
actually, I have mentioned Mia in it. And I read it now and I'm like, what was wrong with
Aditi, you have done that. I still do it.
me?
I was just going to say, doing it every day.
I do it. I
I
write
can't do
about.
it anymore.
So the thing is, I don't get time to write about my day every day because by the end of the day, I'm
No, I do write
exhausted.
about my day though. I still have a diary with me and I keep writing about it. But I write things which are like, significant or, things that I actually want to remember. I
I
used to write it every day.
I
Any shit
don't
I'm
really,
writing in the
yeah,
book.
even I used to do that. And I used to actually take it to school, and
Yeah,
I
same.
used to like take it out in between lectures and just be that person who just
Yeah,
writes
like
essay
flipping
in a
over it.
zone. Yeah.
Oh my
What
god,
a
same.
There was
I
what
this
did
an
that in
time,
idiot.
10th grade.
there was this time where it was, we had this thing that whoever can read your diary is your best friend. So there was one person who could read my diary, nobody else. So that person was very proud, okay? And I'm just like, it's not something to be proud of. It's just a diary. I'm writing shit in it. You're reading it. I'm going to tell you anyways what I did in my day.
Nishi, the diaries with the
I know.
locks were the iPhones when we were in it.
Oh, yes. Oh, I had a blue one with a blue lock.
I had a okay, so you're talking about diaries, right? And I used to write like every day regularly. I used to write like 2 pages, do bhar ke. These days I don't get time to write. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I'm barely keeping up with my submissions and my deadlines. So I write weekly instead. I sit down on Sundays and I just let it all out. So that is one thing that I write and I try to keep journaling. But I still want the Loxwala diaries. It always made me feel secure that whatever is happening is still in there.
I'm
I don't know.
fascinated with different styles of diaries. Like, something which I've not seen before, something unique. I got one diary, like the one that I'm recently writing in, and I doodled over it, like the top of it. I like whole pura diary my doodled because it was so plain. I was like, nahi, aisa nahi chahiye. I will doodle over it.
Aditi, you like journaling, right? So there's this one
Yeah.
trend that is going on bullet journaling. I tried that. And wait,
Ah,
there is this one spread that I'm proud of, and I'm just going to go ahead and show all of you my bullet journal spread. Wait.
Even
please.
I tried bullet journaling,
I
but
tried. I could
the
not do it.
end, I tried it last year, and like during lockdown, there's nothing much to write. So I was just like, like
So
what?
I can't keep up. I can't keep up with like two, three
Yeah.
diaries because I genuinely don't have the time or the patience to do that. So I've just put it all in one diary. That diary is my bullet journal. That diary is my dump where I put everything in. And there's this one spread that I'm very, very, very proud of. I set up my March ka thing just yesterday,
So pretty.
This is
and I
so
made
beautiful.
seashells, and
So
I'm so
pretty.
proud of it.
I
Very
can't with
pretty.
bullet journaling, dude. I start
I know.
ranting. Once I start writing, I'm just blah 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 blah. Everything is coming out as a kuch bhi I'm writing in it. So I'm just like, nahi, ye nahi hoga.
Coping
Bullet.
mechanism.
You
Yeah,
need like a dumper
actually,
journal, like Purva.
dumper journal. Like it's just writing. I can show you my diary. It's just writing, pages and pages of writing whatever you feel. But that's one thing that I
Yeah.
like because once if I'm really frustrated or like really sad or like really happy, I just have to write it down.
I know.
It is
I'm
Same.
okay with
Like,
it then.
it is a very good way of expression. It really is.
Yeah, and then somehow you get the strength to cope with it.
yeah.
Because in the process of writing you're somehow dealing with it in your own way, right?
I know.
That's just
Yeah,
how
it
you go
actually
with
helps you
reading books
realize so
also.
many things that you wouldn't have realized if you hadn't written it down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
True.
And like
exactly.
you identify it, and then
Yeah.
It
you're
is,
like, okay, I'll deal with it
and
instead of
It
it's
helps you
so
move
ignoring
ahead.
it.
much
Plus,
it's so
especially
much
for
like,
people who have trust issues.
oh yes, that is exactly where I was going with this,
College gives you
especially,
trust issues though.
oh
You can't
yes.
Yeah.
cope with that.
Life gives you trust issues, not just college.
And the whole point that it is like talking to someone who's not judging you for everything you're
Actually,
saying. That is
Exactly.
that is one very good thing about writing in your journals.
My notes are like my diary. I'm like, please don't my notes. Like you can hold my gallery, but not my notes.
Oh my god. I have so many of these friends who actually like journal in their notes. Like they'll be sitting and then they'll just keep furiously typing. I was like, okay, who's this guy who's making you so angry? But like, no, okay, you're journaling on your phone. That is like a new thing
I
that they
don't
have.
have any friends who read or write. I'm very frustrated with my friends. I don't talk to them anymore.
We are your
I'm just,
friends.
if I'm
Why
reading,
you need
if
to
I'm
talk to
reading, I'll
us?
put my phone on airplane and be like, don't talk to me only. Nobody's going to talk to me.
Same here.
Aditi
Same
is
here,
the
Aditi.
mood.
You could give them
Exactly.
journals for their birthday.
They
I did
don't,
that.
right? It's just sitting
Return
there
gift
in
में
their
वही journal
shelves.
मिलेगा 2 साल
Yeah,
बाद.
you better start
हाँ.
writing now or I'm not
They
talking
are
to
just
you.
like, तू वापस ले जा, तू लिख ले इसमें, हमें मत दे. I'm just like, वो पागल हो यार.
So I gifted my best friend like a bullet journal. I designed it for her, and she's like really into Harry Potter, and both of us are really into Harry Potter and everything. So, like the spread that I showed you just now, I designed like a whole diary for her, like a whole yearly planner, and I gave it to her so that she liked. ऐसा कुछ मेहनत किया हुआ दिखता है उन लोग को तो.
It's such a thoughtful gift. People don't
I,
appreciate only.
No,
You know,
yeah, exactly.
seriously.
I gave a
Appreciate.
scrapbook to my friend, like pictures and then notes beside it. So
That's
Yeah,
so
instead
that's
of
how
that's
I
giving
so
was
them
like,
cute.
copy
sweet.
marks, which are completely pointless, you could give them journals.
True. You know, because Muskan brought up that notes thing, I 1 second, there's battery low of my earphones.
So I go around like these stores that you go to, the stationery ones. I really go crazy in the stationery stores.
I love
And
stationery.
I'm
I
also a
mean,
craft
I
person, so I love stationery.
I'm a,
I
I'm
draw
a
That.
art
sketches and all.
person.
Yeah,
I
sketches and all.
I
I'm not a
sketch.
craft person, but during lockdown, I was like, I really need to get my artistic side out.
I suck at drawing, but I love
Everybody.
painting.
Oh, but I really
Same.
like drawing mandalas. They are such
Even
stress
I draw
busters.
mandalas. I have
Even
like a lot of
coloring them and
mandalas.
filling them with different colors helps you with anxiety.
It is
They
so
look very
therapeutic.
pretty, but
It
I
is
can't do
very
them.
therapeutic.
Yeah,
And
it's actually good.
the fact
I
that
like painting. Painting. I just love it. It's
I
very
could
therapeutic. Like, I'm not great at it, but I really like it.
Yeah.
Same.
same. So the thing is, where was I going with this? I have these trail of thought and I always forget what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
God, okay. So I was talking about being an art person, right? No, that was not what I was talking about.
No.
I'm so sorry. Someone talk about something else so I
Yeah,
remember what I
Disha was talking about notes,
Okay,
something.
right, notes. So every time I go to this stationery shop, and that stationery shop again has everything. It is like a magical place. You tell him you want like a particular 0 point XYZ ka highlighter, he'll whip it out for you. And I found this diary. It had black pages, and I'm a sucker for diaries with black pages. Even though like you absolutely can't really do anything with it, but I just felt like I wanted to have it, and like it was a little bit expensive for like a normal diary. And मैं मेरी माँ को बोल रही हूँ, no, I want it, I really want it. And then she asked me like the whole series of questions. What will you do with it? You never use the ones that you have at home. घर पे है वो पहले use कर. So I got that diary and I started scrapbooking in it. And the Mean Girls have that burn book.
Yeah.
We made like a positive, the group of my friends, we made like a positive burn book. We write about people we like. So we don't really write about people we hate as such because we talk about them a lot. But as opposed to that, we write about people we like.
That's
The
really good
cons
and
of having
smart.
a
Great
mom.
idea.
Cons of having a mom who's a art and craft teacher is if I tell her I need a journal, she's just like, I'll make it out of chart paper for you. And I'm just like, Mummy, that's not the point.
That
Yeah.
is, Aditi, do you realize how cool that is?
It is cool, but that is not what I want. I want the one that is there in the bookshop. Give that to me. She's like, you're wasting money. I'm not going to buy it for you.
Oh, yes. That really happens with my mother as well.
Happens
The
with
thing
Every
with
me.
her
mom.
is that she really doesn't have time to read anything, and I want her to read so many books. Like I got her this one book that will help her cope with all the stress and everything. She never goes around to reading it. Then what I do is, whichever book that I'm reading, when we're like sitting together and everything, it's better than having mom who doesn't oh yes, Nishi, yes, that is so true. Aditi, you should just be happy and tell your mom that I like handmade journals.
No,
Just
like they have seen my obsession over the years, so now they are fine with it. They're just like, okay, this ladki needs a diary.
Now we get you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they don't go around snooping in my diary, so I'm like, okay, now they've become.
I used to hide my diary.
Yeah,
So
I used to do
my
that.
princess diaries phase, I used to hide my diaries. I had like this really big teddy bear. I'm a very girly girl back then.
I
So I
have a
had
big
this
teddy bear right
huge,
now also. It's there
big
somewhere.
pink teddy bear, and it had like a zip at the back, and under was some cotton hota tha. I used to put my diary in that.
Oh god.
I used
That
to
is
do
too
that.
much.
I used to be very possessive about my
Yeah.
diary. And the only thing I used to write in that is how I hate this one teacher because she didn't say I was a good student. That's the only thing I used to write in that. Nothing else.
I have mood swings. So I keep giving galis to one person one day, and then I love that person the other day. So I'm just like, nahi, isko diary nahi. I cannot show my diary
Relate.
to people.
That is what having a sibling does to you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I hate my brother, but I love
But
him.
you love him.
Exactly. That's so weird. Such a weird feeling. You hate him and you love him at the same time.
The moment I see him, just like get out of my room. But then I'm just like, yaar, kitna sweet hai.
It is very Stefan and Damon.
Exactly.
Like,
You know, you could actually
Every
kill them.
sibling, I feel.
Yeah, but then you will wait for him to wake up because he's your brother at the end of the day.
No, but then they'll also do sweet things. He got me chocolate on chocolate day, and I'm just like, you're so cute, man.
Genuinely, no one got me chocolate.
My
Can you
brother.
can all of us just acknowledge what Nishi has wrote in the chat box? She locked her diary and forgot where she put the key.
I used to
Everyone's
get
done that once in their life.
I
Making
used to
same
keep
thing happened with
misplacing the
me.
key. It was very small also.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
frustrating that key.
It was this much. And you know what? मेरा साइकिल भी मैंने लॉक लगा के उसका की भी घुमा दिया. So then for a time I couldn't.
I keep doing this to things. I keep misplacing the keys.
Yeah. And that one, like this misplacing, I remember the rubber you used like eraser always in school.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Erasers to kahan jati hai, you have no
Even
idea.
your hair tie.
Erasers and rubber
Always
bands.
have one
Yeah.
on your wrist, but you end up
It's
losing
somehow
it
not
anyway.
there.
yeah.
It disappears out of nowhere, out of thin air.
Very frustrating, dude.
Well, that reminds me of Goosebumps. Did you all read Goosebumps?
Oh, yes, I did.
Like,
It was there in the school library. I used to
Yeah.
go and take it.
I've seen
And
the
there was this
movie, I
one
guess.
Goosebumps ka book that was called Brain Juice. And it had like a brain and like a fist and a glass niche and brain juice.
I think I've seen it. I've not read it
So
though. Don't remember
that
it.
was
Oh,
that was
weird.
weird. That was weird.
Wow.
And that was really weird. God.
Yeah. I
The
read this
phase
book, which
women.
is like the camera one where you take a photo and the person's like not in that picture for some reason. They're like,
Oh, that spirit wala thingy.
yeah, it wasn't exactly a spirit. It ended up being some scientific thing, but it was very cool and scary at the same time. So
Just a random thought that came in my mind when we were talking about really being secretive with our diaries. I used to write with invisible ink, that lemon thing.
I tried
I
it.
used to, and I used to do that. Crazy. Don't. I'm never
I
doing
guess
it again.
everyone had that phase of invisible ink and lock wala diary.
They
Okay,
were
so
banned in
I
my
think
school because people tried to use it during exams, and we were like, why? That was such a cool thing to do.
okay, fine. So I think now after today's conversation, I am motivated to read some books
read
because some
books.
really good books have been suggested by you guys. So with that, we have come to an end to the discussion, and honestly, I enjoyed it a lot, and I think we should do it often. I seriously
Yeah,
loved
we should
it.
do
so
this.
sad
So much
to like
fun.
end this.
I
Yeah.
am actually depressed right now that it's ending.
Now everyone's gonna go back and write it in the diary.
Yeah, had a nice day discussing books.
Yeah. So okay, so
We
thank
really
you so
need to
much
do
for
this
joining
again.
in. It was fun, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully tomorrow. So
Yes,
Thank you
please.
for joining.
Thank
I really
you.
had fun getting my nerd out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much, all of you. It was really a lot of fun. I
Bye.
hope you had fun.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye. It was
Bye.
lovely meeting you.
Bye. Yeah, same here. Thank you. Bye.